How's it going, guys? Tuning in here at the MJ Unpacked show out here in New York City and Manhattan. We're here with our special guests. First things first, let me shout out our sponsors. Thank you so much, Pier 5, Jack Herrera, and Cali FX.
All right,
sponsors.
There we go.
I am Destiny Blanco, your host, with our co-host here.
Hello, my name is Eden.
And we have our special guest of this show, Patrick Lane and Elliot Lane of Benzinga Conference.
That's us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, you two.
Yeah.
Happy to have you too.
This is exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us on our show. It's going to be a very great show with you guys. We're going to hear much from you and learn a little bit about Benzinga Conference. First things first, how did you guys get started in the industry?
Started with this one.
Yeah. So I'll give you the 30 seconds.
Okay.
First of all, Benzinga, we're an interesting player in the space. We're a financial media company, the same as a CNBC, a Bloomberg, a Yahoo Finance, right? We were one of the first major financial publishers to care about cannabis, right? And when we entered the space, and even now in some circles, the New York Times wasn't covering any of the publicly traded cannabis stocks, the NASDAQ companies, NYC companies. We were really the first to do that, right? So we have about 50 million investors that read our content every month.
Nice.
Some on Benzinga.com and some on all the different sites that we send our content to.
Is that international?
Oh yeah,
as well?
international, right? So if you have a 401k, right, or an account that you invest money into, and you see a certain stock maybe that you're invested in, like a Canopy or a Tilray or something, right?
Okay.
You go and look at an article. You might be on Charles Schwab or Webull or Robinhood, however you invest, right? Chances are we wrote that article at Benzinga, right? So that's who we are. And it's evolved from there. Cannabis is one of the first nascent markets that we started covering in a big way. And from there, we launched our conference in 2018. God, it feels like a decade ago. But yeah, I was one of the guys who launched that. So it's been a fun road ever since. And then I hired this munchkin.
Yeah. So basically, between the two of us, Patrick started the cannabis vertical on the B2B side, connecting investors and financial professionals to the companies. And I somewhat took over that mantle, but we've grown pretty immensely on the cannabis side over the past year, somewhat because of COVID in a way, because our readership exploded because we are very focused on growing individual investors and even yours and mine and all of ours wealth. You know, we provide not only information on stocks, but also insurance companies that might be good for you. Credit cards you might want to open, so we provide financial information that could be useful to everybody in every stage of their financial journey.
Nice.
That's amazing. So that was in 2018. What were you doing before 2018?
Oh, wow. We're going deep.
What brought you to cannabis?
Yeah, so I like to say that I'm a reformed actor, right? So I went to school to be an actor. I got my bachelor's degree, my master's degree. I lived here in New York and acted for a while. Lived in Chicago and acted for a while.
Oh, cool.
TV,
What'd you
theater.
star in? I'm curious.
The
Broadway shows.
crowning achievement that I always get the crap for is playing a wife beater on Chicago Fire.
What?
Yeah.
He was very good,
Unfortunately, it's my
Wait,
favorite.
like the t-shirts?
Oh yes,
he had one of those on too.
Yeah, really inventive casting.
Yeah. Oh,
really
nice,
super
nice.
inventive. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and theater, the arts is a natural segue into event planning, right?
Yeah.
You understand
absolutely.
production values, you understand what it takes to bring an audience and to and to provide them with value, right?
Of course. Nice.
Yeah.
And how about you, Elliot?
I'm here because of Patrick. I will say we grew up in the arts. We're brothers, if you hadn't caught on to that yet. But I majored in opera, so I took more of a musical approach.
No way.
Wow.
And then eventually, I got into the sales side. So you develop it. I think sales in any form of cannabis or really any other industry, you develop a very large network of individuals that can benefit each other. Right. So it's not just, you're selling whatever for $20 to $20,000. but you're building relationships.
Yeah.
You know, and a good salesperson will build relationships and be able to connect those relationships to others within their network.
Definitely.
And so, you know, I got really good at that. And now I had the Cannabis and Psychedelics vertical, basically creating new products, creating ways to not only spotlight the major companies in the industry as we already do, but the up and coming ones, the women and minority owned brands, the, you know, we want to make sure that we're providing space not only at our events, but content wise, as well as digitally providing ad space on our website, you know, providing opportunities for contributed content on our website. Not to be redundant there, but basically it's my job to figure out now how we can be of use to the industry and what our platform can do to help change the space.
Absolutely.
Where do you where do you go to get news on cannabis companies?
Where do I go? So I actually look at a few companies. I run a cannabis company, Arizona Cannabis News, in Arizona. So I actually get a lot of my news from the PR Newswire.
Very cool.
So I get lots of emails every day. I wake up and a new email pops up from, you know, Jones Soda now doing THC sodas. So PR Newswire is my go-to.
It's your jam, huh?
But Benzinga is one for my financial.
There
I
you
actually
go.
do
Come on.
stocks.
Benzinga.com/cannabis, right?
There we
So
go.
yeah, we may have to do a collab with Arizona
Absolutely.
Cannabis News.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely have to. That's going to be our next conversation after this.
Got it. I gave you my card,
Yeah,
so
it happened here.
let's go.
Make magic happen at MJ Unpacked.
What about you, Eden?
Oh, right now I'm a special assistant. I help where I'm needed,
Oh,
do what I need to do, you know, help them out.
Yes, I should have given him that
hey.
title.
Yeah.
Special assistant.
I'm so
I like
glad you two didn't meet until right now.
that. Yeah, this is great.
I'm still waiting for Elliot to sing us a little
I
opera.
know. I'm trying to hear
girl,
something.
I'm getting over a cold from my 7-month-old.
Yeah,
Oh, what?
excuses.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Yeah.
See, actually, that's the kind of music that I like when they have that raspy
Oh,
voice. a
yeah,
little bit.
there you go.
A little raw.
Yes.
I feel ya. I feel ya. Just look up Elliot Lane on YouTube. Patrick
Yes.
Lane on YouTube.
No way.
Don't do that.
You'll get
Okay.
all
Like
of
all
it.
the shows on there or all the.
You'll have bits and pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do it
Okay.
right now, Eden. What are you doing?
We're gonna put up a little
I'm
clip.
like, hey guys, this is it right here. Pass it alive.
Oh my-
I'm a sap. I just fell into a trap. I may be the sappiest, but I know that I'm happiest with you. All the time, every day, you're more sublime. I miss you when you're gone, although I try to carry on.
Oh my God.
How amazing. Well, so 2019, you guys went through COVID. How did that go for your conferences?
So it was interesting. I feel like we started COVID, actually.
All right,
No,
yeah.
so it's funny because everybody in the industry jokes that we were the last thing before pretty much everything shut down. It was February like 24th
Yeah.
of 2020,
Wow.
and it was 2 weeks or so later that everybody got the no, go home, you can't be out and
Oh,
about type
wow.
order.
Yeah.
You know?
There wasn't during the mask yet, where everyone.
No. And
Right
I don't
before.
think. I mean, maybe a couple people wore masks at that conference, but
I don't even remember.
I remember
Yeah.
the day that they announced COVID. It was March 11th.
yes,
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was the day where they said, everyone shut everything down. Be careful. Don't go outside.
Don't go out.
The toilet
Wipe
paper
down your
disappeared.
groceries.
Toilet
Yeah.
paper. Everyone was freaking out, running to
Yeah.
Costco,
Apparently
grabbing
there was
toilet
literally
paper.
one
Yeah.
guy who had it all.
Lysol
See,
wipes.
if you were in, you were slanging toilet paper during that time.
You were.
Yeah.
You were.
But we innovated. You know, I
Yeah.
think we were one of the first companies to really take conferences of that scale digitally in the cannabis space. We did so successfully as much as you can. You know, people got tired of them eventually, and
For
rightfully
sure.
so.
For sure.
It's hard to really keep people's attention for a full day of content, let alone 2 full days of
Right.
content.
And the networking totally changes
Yeah.
virtually, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you saw all these platforms come out where you had a little avatar and you were literally pressing your forward key on your keyboard to like go
Almost
down
like
the,
Sims.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You're like, what the hell am I doing, right? But we never went that route, right? And more power to those that did. But for our conferences, it was content. It was still trying to get everybody together. We played matchmaker quite a bit,
Oh.
connecting people via email and
The amount of emails we
yeah,
sent.
just trying to keep business flowing, right?
Right.
Partnerships flowing.
But luckily, we
Yeah.
already had a digital audience built in.
Yeah.
Well, that's
You know,
good.
as a media
Yeah.
company, as a platform that offers financial information. We brought that audience new information in the form of a conference. Or at least that's what we said. Right?
But we're back now, and thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
We're back.
Lord.
Yeah, it's good to be
Back
back.
and doing
Emily.
amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
We're a huge fan of Benzinga conference. We went out there in Miami and did our podcast show.
2 weeks ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
What did you
2 weeks
think?
ago.
You survived the flood.
So I wasn't there personally. I had a lot of great feedback from my team.
Great.
We met very amazing individuals there. Interviewed about 30 to 40 people.
Great.
It was amazing. We have that content there on our YouTube channel. But Benzinga is definitely a professional environment, and that is where we thrive the most in.
That's what we want to be, and I think we don't want to strike a tone that's not appropriate for the space. You know, it's hard to put on financial and investment conferences in a time where people recognize that capital is not flowing.
Right.
You know, and we're very aware of that, but at the same time, I think we had 2,000-3,000 meetings happen at the event.
It was about
3,000 meetings happen at the event. So business is getting done,
Of
Yeah,
course.
right? Whether
absolutely.
capital is moving or not, business is going to get done, and I'm jam packed.
Yeah.
You know, business
And
will
we're-
get done at events.
We're sort of a unique breed, right? I know there would be some conference providers in other industries maybe that wouldn't get along, right? And would be somewhat competitive with one another, drawing the line in the sand. We're not like that. We like playing in the same sandbox.
I like that. A little bit of inclusivity.
We try, right? We think, we have the opinion that if other conferences do well, we're going to do well, and the space
Right.
will succeed. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Even though capital is crunchy right now and it's hard to come by, people still want to get together. They still want to do deals. They still want to entertain ideas for how their businesses can grow. So we hope everyone does well.
Right.
That's really
Especially in a community for
our
sure.
MO, you know?
Yeah.
There's lots of people in the industry, investors now, jumping in. There's a lot going on that's safe banking now that everyone's realizing, eventually we'll all be able to, do our money here and in this industry.
Eventually, yeah. We were talking to a couple people in the regulatory landscape last night. Depending upon who you ask, legalization might be 10 years away, right? Safe banking might be 5 years away. Descheduling might be 18 months away, right? You never know. But any sort of relief that these companies can get from the government, we got to give it to them,
Got to.
Yeah.
right?
Well, and what the effect will be when it actually happens, I think people should temper their expectations.
Yes,
A
of
little
course.
bit. Nothing is a fix-all, unfortunately, when it comes to politics.
What's funny about you saying that is really at the end of the day, cannabis companies used to grow, and I mean grow as a business, not cultivate. Used to grow in a very specific way. I want to grow as much cannabis as I can. I want my greenhouses or grows to be as large as they can, and I want to flood the market with my stuff. Right? You can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
People are scaling back in order to scale up.
exactly.
Right? They've got to be efficient. They got to have redundancy and automation in their facilities, and it really has to be a matter of how strategic can you be with how you go to market.
Yes.
Right.
You nailed that right on there. I know in Arizona, we are, the market's a little up and down. People, come to the Arizona industry and they learn about, I want to get in, but then they find out, the pricing on the license and
They're
pricing
not
on the
cheap.
pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Michigan, where I am, right? Michigan's one of the largest markets recreationally, right? It's massive. Apparently, we like our weed in Michigan.
Yep.
But it's an absolute free-for-all. Limited license markets are still the hottest. Take Missouri and Massachusetts and some of these other Florida, these other places. But we see a lot of growth potential in this industry still.
Of course.
Right.
That means a lot because you guys are there, in the financial field, meeting these people, working with them every day, and learning their business models.
Yeah. Well, what should we know about Arizona? What's happening with META? What's going on in Arizona?
Well, META is we are a networking association, so we have everybody come out every single month to learn and speak with like minds like yourselves and learn about what they should be doing with their business.
Very cool.
So it's professionals.
So you do this once a month.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite. Really
Yeah.
appreciate
Once a month, every last Wednesday month. You guys are welcome. Come set up a booth. advertise your business there,
Cool.
invite people, get some tickets out to everybody. Us that we work closely with conferences like yourselves, so you guys can market with us. We'll promote your business to our email list and get you guys out there and get our
Nice.
members involved with the conference.
Great for all businesses, especially in the Southwest. I mean, that's fantastic.
Wild Wild West too.
There we go.
So what are you guys doing in any upcoming projects?
Yeah. I mean, there's always something we're working on, right? The biggest thing about Benzinga is that we're not just cannabis, right?
Mhm.
So there's so many other business lines that we have that are not conference related. But in the conference world, we do and will do before the end of the year a conference on sports betting, the business of sports betting. We already have the CEOs of FanDuel and DraftKings and NASCAR and BetMGM and all these other sites, right? We'll do a crypto conference, fintech, financial technology conference. We're all over the map.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emerging markets is where we thrive, right? It's we could do one in biotech, you could do one in clean tech or EV, and we still may do that. But the markets that provide a high growth opportunity for investors and
Yeah.
people looking at them like cannabis, psychedelics, crypto are the obvious ones. But sports betting is such a cool one. ETFs and the focus that's been put there recently. And I'm sure there'll be many more.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
pop up.
you think about Benzinga, like, I said a second ago, we are, like, we are a mini Bloomberg in a lot of ways, right?
Mhm.
But Bloomberg is for our grandparents, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say that because we're coming for you, Mike Bloomberg. Just kidding. But Benzinga, like, we're 25 to 45. That's our demo, and we're providing information, real-time, actionable investment information for investors our age, right?
In a very streamlined fashion.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to read a 20-page white paper anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm not going to do that.
Nowadays,
Yeah,
people
too much.
they got 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
span.
I mean, they're probably not even
Attention
watching
span
us
anymore.
anymore.
Attention
Yeah.
Everyone's is very short now, including mine.
Well, what's a cool story that you guys could tell us that's happened in your Nalvers?
So
Oh,
something
man.
crazy.
Well, here's a fun one. So this Miami conference that you guys came to last year, someone came holding a chicken, a live
No.
chicken,
A live chicken.
a live chicken. But
in
not
the
only
conference room.
Was it their
yeah,
offering,
yeah,
maybe?
yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be some weird like voodoo shit, right?
Oh, no.
But so this guy comes up with a chicken under his arm, and it's like doing a little head thing
No.
too, right? But then he was wearing a T-shirt, and the T-shirt was a picture of the chicken.
No.
Is that his brand? What is
I
his
don't
brand?
That's
know.
incredible.
The mascot.
We're not sure.
Interesting.
But even our venue at the Fountain Blue Miami, they were like, is the chicken coming again? Right? So you never
It's
know
not
who's
a
going to show
without
up,
the
right?
chicken.
Yeah.
You never know.
Have you all been to Miami before? Like, yeah.
I was
Yes.
supposed to go a couple
So-
months ago. I didn't.
So
Oh.
I was. We went out to dinner one night. Just of course continuing to network and work. But we're going off the ramp of the expressway, and I look over under the underpass, and there's literally a flock of chickens.
A flock of
Is that
chickens.
just
Of wild
popular
chickens.
in-
Maybe that guy was there.
Maybe it was his colony. I don't know. But
Oh my
like, there are
gosh.
apparently wild chickens.
Just in Miami?
This
Just
is a
wandering?
fact I never knew about South Florida or the
That's
Keys
crazy.
or Miami.
What?
But there
Wow.
are wild chickens in South
I
Florida.
didn't,
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's.
Huh. Who would have thought?
wild.
I see your face.
Maybe
you're,
he
you're
picked
like,
one up.
Yeah.
Destiny,
way.
Destiny would have taken one home with her.
I am that type. I'd be like, let's just put him in our suitcase.
Yeah.
Just grab
He'll
him.
fit. He'll fit. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, disclaimer: I don't know what diseases they have, but like there were enough to pick from for sure. It was-
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild chickens. Okay.
Interesting. Well, I mean, you got crocodiles down there and everything. Now they just have chickens too.
it is Florida, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
Everything is crazy in Florida.
Florida is that city for that. You never know what's gonna pop up in Florida.
No.
Yeah. Benzinga.
Yeah.
Benzinga
Exactly.
audience.
So when is your next show here for Benzinga? Where should our audience?
Yeah, September
their next flight?
27th and 28th, we'll be at the Marriott Magnificent Mile in Chicago.
Chicago.
That's our next cannabis one. We'll also have our cannabis awards. So this goes for businesses of all ilks and sizes. Go to bzcannabis.com and nominate yourselves. Right? Get the recognition that you deserve.
And think about it this way: you might think that, hey, these guys are financial media. This has to be about finance. We have awards for brands. We have awards for our service organizations,
Reporters.
reporters.
Like-
We want to recognize the people that are the movers and shakers in this industry, right? So yeah, bzcannabis.com.
Yeah.
Give you information about the awards program and the Chicago event.
And I would say for anything, if you're interested in just learning about other segments, crypto, ETFs, other things you can invest in, benzinga.com/events.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great place.
And if you need to get a hold of Elliot, I'll give you his cell phone.
Thank you so much for that.
We'll put the number down below.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. And I heard that you guys also have the psychedelic conference as well.
Mhm.
Well, that's annually, so just once a year. So we just held that in Miami.
Okay.
Had some great leaders there. It's a tough industry right now, but they actually are potentially looking at some upcoming catalysts a little bit quicker
Right.
than perhaps the cannabis space. So, there's a lot of excitement around MAPS and MDMA.
Yeah.
We just actually interviewed MindMed and BNStar Wellness on our show yesterday. So they just finished their phase 2 trial of LSD.
Oh, nice.
So there's a lot of movement, and psychedelics is biotech. It is the pharmaceutical medicinal space. So when you think of how we promote that, it's in a very different light than cannabis, and we don't want to force the two industries upon themselves. But that being said, a lot of people who are interested in cannabis are interested in psychedelics.
Definitely.
And they're interested in that high growth, high risk, high reward type industry.
Yeah.
So there is a crossover in audience, albeit we do not directly want to combine them.
Gotcha.
Yep. I think I just read an article. Actually, might have been a Benzinga article. It's going to be a $500 billion industry coming up here soon.
$500 billion, huh? Yeah.
Booming. It's booming.
I need to put some money on some stocks.
Yeah,
I'm
apparently.
going to go visit our site real quick.
Let's go check out Benzinga, guys. Check out the next stocks for psychedelics there.
Awesome.
I have one final question to ask
Yes.
you guys. What's up with our friend in the
Oh,
devil
yeah.
costume?
Woodstock.
Sun Devils?
Yeah.
So
Oh, the
this-
Sun Devils.
Come on, man. Keep up.
Got it.
Well,
Got
one,
it.
Arizona, Sun
Got
Devils.
it. Put in a Boston Cup.
So our founder he went to the Boston University. He's actually usually our host here. He loves Boston, and he also
Put his
loves
hood on a little
Woodstock.
bit
So
more.
Got it.
we have a thing at Mita. Have you ever watched Snoopy?
Of
course.
course.
So he sits on top to watch the neighborhood.
Yes.
It's kind of what we do in the industry.
You sit on top and watch the neighborhood.
Kind of watch the community, make sure everybody
I love
is,
that.
is
Got
all
it.
connected.
Yeah,
I
I
love
love that.
Love that.
I mean, Soupy was a menace, but
Yeah. That's the story behind that guy. He hangs out with us at every podcast show.
Awesome.
does he have a name, or is it just it's up in the air?
It's Woodstock.
We gotta ask Dimitri
Woodstock?
about that one.
Okay, all right, we'll put it to him.
Call him Sunny.
Sunny.
Sun Devils.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
But we do like his little devil look to us. We all are a little bit mischievous. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's our
Great
pleasure.
to have
Pleasure
you.
having you guys.
Where can they find you on social media? LinkedIn, email?
I would say LinkedIn and email Elliot Lane, ELLIOTLANE at Benzinga.com.
I'm Patrick at benzinga.com.
Yeah, so we're always open to emails. If you have any questions on our content, on our events, you want to get involved in one way or another, we'd love to hear from you. We're always open to hearing from everybody.
Yeah. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. It
Thanks
was a
for
pleasure
joining
having
us.
you on the show, and I'm sure we'll see you at your show.
Yes.
You
can't wait.
better.
Thank you so much, guys. And that was another episode of Mita Unshackled. Shout out to our sponsors, Pier 5, Cali FX, and Jack Herrera.